It's time for self-pampering, my girl. We'll be hitching a ride on an eastbound caravan.
We had fun at the hot springs, Scared all those men away with our bathing suits.
We didn't have no bathing suits. Only beautiful God-given birthday suits.
Worked out just fine for us.
Lion's Arch, built upon the wreckage of the Crichton city of the same name, has grown and prospered in the years since the rise of the Orient Dragon. Founded by pirates and dependent on trade, the city has become a common ground for all the races of Tyria.
The Priory is dedicated to learning. Saren, one of our most cunning scholars, will provide tutelage to help you gain wisdom that you will need. Dermond, our founder, said it best. Your power is only equal to the sum of your knowledge. If that's true, then we're Tyria's best hope to survive the darkness gathering on the horizon. Welcome to the Dermond Priory.
I mean, come on, guys. How cool is Gix's voice? I don't know what it is about him, but he sounds so badass to me. Saren looking super cool there, and as well a mysterious stone dwarf we have seen only in the future Lion's Arch here too. So, yes, that is Gix. He's just gonna wander off now. What does he say?
What do you need?
Oh, nothing much, I guess. He's just gonna leave. So he introduces us to the Order, and yeah, the Dermond Priory begins, dedicated to learning, and about to meet with one of their most cunning scholars, apparently. So, not like Timbal, who's just starting out with the Order of Whispers. Here we're going to meet someone a little bit more in the know. So this building here, by the way, many of you watching this will be extremely nostalgic about. This is the old Black Lion Trading Company headquarters from when the game originally released. So the trading post we talked about before, if at any point in game I press O, bring up this window and we can buy and sell things on the global player marketplace. Well, the in-game like company that does that, the Black Lion Trading Company, this is where they operated from. Very lavish, red, luxurious looking place. They've even got a nicer headquarters these days. And yeah, this is the original version though that many of us used to run up and down through. All these lovely pieces of artwork and chairs that I'd love to sit on and be able to, you know, admire their auctions and see what they're selling. But yeah, up here, it seems the Dermond Priory did have a small presence here for a short while. And we can see two characters, both very important characters, Kekt and Saren, both with rather large roles to play in the battle ahead. So, hey guys, feeling like a bit of a fish out of water here.
Ah, here you are. You must be the new novice I was sent to retrieve. I'm a Magister of the Order, but we don't need to use titles. Just call me Saren.
Happy to meet you. I'm looking forward to working with the Dermond Priory.
It's nice to see that you're enthusiastic. I know I'm supposed to take you straight back to the Priory, but I'd like to take a little side trip. While I was waiting for you, Explorer Kekt was telling me this really interesting story about an old dwarven tomb. And guess what? It's right on our way.
Ooh, ready?
I'll still take you to meet Steward Gix at the main Priory building, but I want to have a bit of fun first.
Magister Saren, you're not listening to me. We don't even know if the story is true. What if this tomb doesn't even exist? What if it's just a legend?
Oh, Kekt, stop being a spoilsport. If I ignore this, those skulky Dredge might find the tomb first. And how would that turn out? They'd destroy it. Come on. It won't hurt anything to go look around a bit. The novice doesn't mind, right?
Exploring an ancient tomb on my first day in the Order. Sounds fun. I don't mind at all.
Then it's settled. I'll meet you at Molland Summit, novice. Don't keep me waiting, okay?
All right, so, yeah, that's Saren, that's Kekt. Funny story, if we had played a very specific different race and branch, we may have already met Kekt before. This isn't necessarily his first introduction to the plot. For most players, it will be. Yeah, what's kind of interesting is where 1/3 of the player base will have gone with the Order of Whispers, another third will have gone with the Dermond Priory. People get connected to different characters, so many of us will be nostalgic and happy about Timbal. Several others will feel a close connection to Saren. Let's see what Kekt says.
The answer is out there.
is it? He says, Magister Saren's a bit excitable. She was supposed to take you to the Priory, not have an adventure. And we say, I'm not exactly untrained. And Saren's enthusiasm is infectious. And he says, oh, by the alchemy, you're two of a kind. Maybe we are at that. Have fun compiling the report. So already it seems like we'll be quite fast friends here. There's kind of an interesting kink in the story you might see here. Not to draw too much attention to it, but the way that this is written and the way that the cutscene in our meeting with Gix over there is handled, you might notice is a little bit off. It's kind of like the devs were originally planning on that cutscene about the Priory playing for us when we meet the actual Priory. And we're supposed to meet Gix for the first time over there. But then later they just slapped the cutscene in at the start of this instance instead. Like, it's really weird and random. Oh, we met Gix here, then walked off, and now we're in a conversation about going to the Priory to meet Gix. It's kind of strange, right? But yeah, and you'll notice that happens with the other orders too. I wonder exactly what happened development-wise to lead to that. But here's Saren.
Greetings.
She's a champion. She doesn't actually have any extra dialogue for us. None at all. So that's kind of interesting. There is a small Easter egg here in Lion's Arch, by the way, which most players won't ever be able to see or find anymore. You can only briefly see in this instance. I might not even be able to see it properly. But if you climb around on these rocks somewhere, there's like a hidden golden coin that one of the developers placed. And eventually would inspire a lot of the different achievements that would come into the game at later dates. But yeah, there you go. That's the introduction to the Priory. Let's get on out now and explore the next chapter in its fullness, right? As the sun is rising, it seems, which is quite nice. So, I did want to talk a little bit about our gear. I'm going to do something slightly different here. As you know, each chapter we've been upgrading the way that we're outfitted in response to the kind of stuff we've been getting throughout the adventure. I want to show you guys a new feature now that, up until this point, I've explained, but not demoed. And that's outfits. So, as you can see, we currently look like this. This is the human cultural armor that we've been wearing for a while now. If I come back to our slots here, you remember I did show you the outfits before. Basically, this is an armor set that goes over our current armor and is purely cosmetic. So if we toggle it on, there's loads of different ones. Most of these are sold and look ridiculously special and flamboyant and crazy because they're sold on the in-game gem store. And the idea is that it's all 6 pieces of armor all together, all at once, to complement one another very well. So there's tons of them in the game. I'm not going to be using those in the series. However, interestingly enough, back when Guild Wars 2 first came out, there was a different system, a bit like outfits, but not quite. It was a system called town clothes. And what town clothes were was like an outfit, another cosmetic loadout for you, but the idea is that they were just for like roleplay purposes or for hanging around in towns to just look a little bit more immersive, and you wouldn't necessarily have any combat stats with you. The idea of town clothes was very quickly removed from the game, and instead all those old town clothes outfits got turned into tonics. So, you know, you'd double click the tonic and you'd wear the clothes, but it was kind of clunky and weird. Well, interestingly enough, very recently, I think it was in 2018, shortly before I started recording this series for you all, they once again converted those tonics into outfits themselves. So if I type clothing, all of this is to say there are some outfits that let you dress like NPCs, and it's kind of being able to get access to an old system, the town clothes system, that was once upon a time in the game long time ago. So for the next chapter, I'm thinking we'll wear some regular clothes, basically, just as we get to know the Dermot Priory, and then we start checking out their gear specifically. And we are going to be going into the mountains, guys, so it's going to be quite cold. I'm guessing these shorts won't look too good. This is probably a little bit too casual here as well. I think the country lace outfit is probably the best we'll get. So we're going to wear this. And yeah, I wanted to at least show off town clothes once in the series. We can also, of course, dye. So by default, they all look like this, but we can, you know, maybe go down, find some nice bluey looking dyes, because at the end of the day, oh my god, that's extremely blue. We are going to be going to the Shiver Peaks. Hold on, let's have a brown belt. And then let's put a little bit of a tint of blue in. I don't even know what that dye is doing there. But we'll look like this, okay? You guys are going to hate this. People are going to be like, oh, why do we just look so grey and horrible? But look, it's dark clothing to keep us warm as we go up into the mountains, guys. All right? So let's do it. We're going to meet Saren at Molland Summit. That does mean we can do a little bit more exploration across Lion's Arch now, too. So you remember when, with the Order of Whispers, we came out the south of the city, down here? Well, this time, we're going to be going out of the east of the city over here. The best route probably then is to walk through the Asura Gates, which, remember, Casey never actually traveled through any of the Asura Gates. We'll come back through here, across the bridge on the far side, and continue moving on. Maybe there's some other stuff that we can talk about too. I haven't actually done any leveling on Casey. Well, we've leveled up. We're level 40 now, right? We're halfway to max level 80. About halfway through the story. The domestic stuff is done. We're now moving to the big plot of Zaitan. You know, like Kekt we met there a second ago. So many of the names and NPCs and faces you see now are going to crop up over and over and over again because the story gets a lot more coherent here. Yeah, back to the leveling thing. We are level 40, but we haven't really trained anything for a bit. So, let's see. Don't quite have our second specialization. Let's pick up some new skills, though. How about we just get a full new set of skills? Let's just go all signets, and I'll show you guys what these look like. So, we'll buy all of these, and then we'll equip all of these, and in our next fight, we'll see how they feel. So, remember, signets are a classification of skill that gives you... We'll run... Yeah, these ones here. That gives you a passive effect and an active. Okay, so, yeah, let's move on towards the mountains. You can see a little bit of them over there. This here is the Guild Initiative headquarters. Do you remember very recently when we were deeper into Crater, we saw that big quaggan that Guild ran over to and had a contract to kill? Well, they got that contract from the people who work here, the Guild Initiative headquarters. That's where one of the characters from the novel Ghost of Ascalon is currently residing, again, which I talked about before. But yeah, so moving over here, up here, this farm used to be able to bet on mower races up here. I think they still hang around. You've got some little chickens, some little mower chicks. Check them out. Oh, they're so cute. It's ridiculous. We saw a mower farm ages ago as well, but that's in the human areas. This one being obviously different and in the outskirts of Lion's Arch. But anyway, check it out. Through these caves to the east of the city, there's some Norn with some Doliak moving along. And we haven't been to the Shiver Peaks for a long time. Last time we were here was when Etius was traveling across the mountains to Crater from Ascalon. And we do find ourselves back very quickly now. Going through that portal, we find ourselves traveling all the way up the mountains by going through that cave. And we're much further south. We're in much more dangerous territory. Etius was traveling over here in only level 15 to 25 places. We are now in Lornar's Pass. Level 25 to 40. Lornar's Pass is a string of narrow valleys that lead down from the Shiver Peaks in the north to the Sea of Sorrows in the south. Its deep valleys are the haunts of wild creatures, ancient ruins, and hidden places of power long concealed from prying eyes. Lornar's Pass is actually the biggest map that was released with regular Guild Wars 2 way back when, and the Demon Priory is actually very close. That's the Priory right there. But we're gonna take our little side mission instead that Saren is practically begging us to go on, and you'll notice instead that our quest icon's quite far away, so we should get moving. But yeah, so this is Lornar's Pass. It is an enormous map. It's a map that played with verticality more than most ever did when the game originally came out, and it's very long, so it starts like all the way up here, and it ends all the way down here somewhere, so very, very, very distant. There's a lot of threat that you could fall off of the narrow cliffways and walkways and things. The enemies are quite dangerous if you move too far south too quickly. And yeah, of course, these days everyone can fly around on mounts and glide and all that kind of stuff. But back then, I distinctly remember Lornar's Pass feeling quite perilous in Guild Wars 2. And that was cool because it existed in the original game too. The Snake Dance and the Lornar's Pass were long mountain passes even 250 years ago. So, as a fan of the franchise for all these years, that's always been something that quite entertained me. Here's another player. This being a Necromancer, a Sylvari Necromancer, looks super creepy. And they got a ton of minion summons with them. We're okay with our Hounds of Balthazar though. I'm alright with them. We'll maybe upgrade them very soon. There's lots of little camps that we could maybe check out. We're just moving into range of a meta event here with this Norn who seems to be struggling a little. Are you right there, dudes? Let's heal him up. There we go. I wonder what exactly was going on there. He says, you look pretty familiar. Have we met before? Yeah, I've been through here before. Have I? I knew I'd seen you around here before. Did you ever finish that thing you were doing? Unfortunately, no. Then what are you doing here? I didn't take you for the type to turn tail or give up. Don't judge me, we say. What a strange conversation. We are in range of a meta event, the Steam Insurgents. Steam creatures are contained to the frozen lake. That's a story about some mysterious otherworldly creatures penetrating this reality that hopefully we'll have a bit of a look at later. Look at the Priory over there. What a beautiful, beautiful place. Okay, so is there a way around the back of this camp that we can get a little bit closer to where Saren wants us to be? Is that a cave we can walk through? Oh, it is a cave we can walk through. I'm really glad. That just looked like a rock wall for a second there. It was so dark and foreboding. I almost thought we'd have to go a long way around. Let's hope this somehow comes us out where we want to be.
Time to blaze a trail.
I don't think I've ever walked through this grub cave, genuinely. I'm not sure I have. But it seems to... Oh, God, yeah, we're right near the steam creatures. Check this out, guys. The steam creatures are expanding their territory. Stop fabricators from building the steam outpost. 6 minutes left, we've got fabricators, and they're trying to build this ridiculous, cool-looking thing here. So I may as well tell you this story. Sometimes in Tyria, we do find mysterious metal machines just building themselves around the world. And if you're scratching your head thinking that's really strange, we're playing a fantasy RPG, isn't that really weird? Then you're right to think that. It is strange, and it's one of the big mysteries from the beginning of the game that is somewhat answered, so I won't spoil what that answer exactly is. For now, we just have this bizarre moment where, as we explore Tyria, we find these mysterious happenings. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to attack the outpost itself. We're going to drain its health and see what happens when it dies. Looks like they're continuously just healing it up. What are the fabricators? Oh, it's this machine here. Okay. So let's break this. Let's summon the Hands of Balthazar. This one being a veteran at level 32. It's a little bit dangerous. You'll notice as well, by the way, my inventory is a total mess. So let me just deposit some collectibles. I'll probably have to fix that off screen for you. No, as we damaged it, it did actually break. A huge bit of the chunk of the top fell off. So yeah, we'll blow up this fabricator. And now it says there's just one remaining. So where is the other one? That's a Steam Guard. Why is he a Steam Guards with an S when he's only one guy? All right, but it's this one over here. So let's look at our signets. There is the Signet of Fire, which we can pop. And we put a ton of burning on that guy for a really long time, so his health is just going to keep draining. There is the Signet of Water, which splashes a heal and resurrection around us. This was only very recently changed. And then there is the Signet of Earth, which immobilizes and bleeds our target from really far away as well. So that's the signets. Signet of Fire recharges very quickly, so you just can keep people burning in perpetuity. Or you can leave the passives up. So Signet of Fire passively means that we will get a higher crit chance. Signet of Water reduces condition duration on us. And Signet of Earth makes us tankier with increased toughness. So yeah, it looks like another one's just created here. Here, look, there's another player with a Mesmer with a great sword. Help us out, Mr. Mesmer. So you can kind of decide how you want to use the signets. I'm probably going to keep the signet of restoration, my heal one. We started the game with this, if you remember. I'm probably going to try to not activate that so that we're just constantly getting healed in the background. Oh, look, he dropped a wooden chest. Nice. And we get a reinforced scale helm. Okay, so he went down again, but it looks like another one spawned. Where is it? It's here. Jesus Christ. So I guess the idea of this event is we have to kill them all very quickly in short time. If we don't kill them quick enough together, then they're going to keep respawning and rebuilding the thing. So let's try and take this out. This is not the adventure for today. For God's sake. That's the thing with Guild Wars, right? The second you get into the open world, it just layers all these side quests on top of you. It's so easy to get distracted so quickly. Yeah, look, another one spawned again now. We got to kill them together. Where's my Mesmer friend? Here. All right, come on, quick. Blow him up. No, I think my Mesmer's hitting the wrong target. This guy. Oh, look, this guy's actually level 80. He's an elite specialization as well. Come on, it's so close. Finish it off. No, don't get distracted. All right, there you go. They're all dead. I guess actually the way that this event works is you're just supposed to stop them fully building the outpost while the timer counts down. So screw that. I'll let him keep defending that. We have to keep going here. Good luck, Mr. Mesmer, friend. I believe in you. God, the steam creatures are almost on us here. You'll also notice by doing this event, we got a lot of heart progress. That's kind of the idea of Guild Wars, that you do the events, and just as you help with various events in the area, it pushes up heart progress. But unfortunately, a lot of the time in the game, sometimes you won't find an event is going on, so you end up doing like these more minor things, like pressing F a lot to get the hearts done. Moving on. These are some pretty weird little creatures, by the way, here. These Pinnapows. Very, very strange. They're really rare. You don't find them on many maps at all. I'm not actually sure whether they're like an established fantasy creature. Do you guys know? Tell me in the comments. Are these a regular fantasy creature, or are they just a Guild Wars thing? I mean, I really don't know. Pinnipal. They're kind of creepy, though. They're cute and creepy at the same time. Is that even possible? I feel like it is. All right, and yeah, over here, remember we heard something about a tomb. Raiding a tomb for our first day, and it is nestled over in these rocks on the far side of the mountains, way off to the east of Lion's Arch. We find some priory. Check it out. So we got Explorer Diag.
Expand your knowledge.
Oh, finally, someone new to talk to. My boss is nice and all, but she does drone on and on and on. Anything interesting? If you ask her, yes. She'll be more than happy to tell you how fascinating it all is. Her favorite topic is the steam creatures. Personally, I get more than enough exposure to them already. Why do I feel like I'm gonna like this person? What's your take on the steam creatures then? They're big, strong, nasty, and completely unnatural. I don't dislike much in this world, but those steam creatures make the list. Why come out to study them then? Priory duty. We go where knowledge can be found. And when Lodge stated her intentions for this post, I volunteered to assist her. I couldn't let her come out here alone. I thought you were tired of her. She could be quite a thorn in my side, certainly, but she's a good friend and a good person. Helping her is the least I can do. Okay, so look, they're quite good companions. Here we got another human in the priory. Hello. You've seen the steam creatures on the lake? Yeah, I have actually. What did you think of them? They're weird, we say. We don't really have any insights or anecdotes just yet, not this early on in the game.
Greetings and salutations.
Hello. The world's just one big mystery, isn't it? A mystery just waiting to be solved. You ever feel that way? Yeah, every day. I knew you looked smarter than the usual dross I meet. Just look at this place. Dalgemore ruins, strange constructs, and a dragon out there somewhere to top it all off. It's exhilarating, isn't it? Do you know much about these ruins? It's certainly not what it used to be, but Lornar's past once led between grand cities. It also saw magnificent dwarven battles, as well as heroes, great and small, trying to make names for themselves. So, I really think this is the devs referencing something. Grand cities. What they're actually talking about is, you know, we're in dwarf land right now, guys. The dwarves are gone. They've turned to stone. They've sunk below the depths. They're not here 250 years later. But 250 years ago, this was the heartland of dwarf territory, and they had a great city far to the south. This was a pass that took you from their great cities down below. The city of Thunderhead, the large outpost, I guess as it was, of Droknar's Forge, and all those other great bastions of dwarven civilization, and those to the north. It was a pass that led between them. Now it's kind of all fallen, and this line here as well, heroes great and small trying to make names for themselves. There's like players who used to travel up and down the pass trying to earn money and running people. It's good stuff. What about those constructs, we ask? She says their true nature is yet to be determined. Their metal composition is entwined with flesh and bone in places. Not enough for a normal creature to survive, mind, but enough to make me wonder. Alright, well, I don't want to know how you found that out. So there you go, we got Priory here. So look, Saren's onto something a little bit here. There's even a heart NPC. We are going to go into that creepy looking cave over there, though, with the continuation of our story, dredging up the past. That is Gix. Look at him. Ugh. So wise. Alright, hey Saren. You'd best have a good reason for taking us here, because we were right next to the Priory.
Look at these glorious snow-dusted mountains. I love the Shiver Peaks. They're so magnificent. Can you believe the ancient dwarves thought this was a good place for a tomb? It feels so alive. Such a strange choice.
It's beautiful, but I'll admit I don't know much about dwarves. What's so interesting about this tomb?
The dwarves are almost extinct, but in their time they knew a lot about the dragons. The Priory studies dwarven tombs to learn as much as we can. This tomb's completely unexplored. If there hadn't been a little earthquake, it would have stayed buried beneath rocks and ice. Kekt's old scroll said this was the tomb of a dwarven prince. It might have... Uh-oh. Look at those dig marks. Dredge. Shoots and thorns. I knew the Dredge would find this place. That's why I wanted to come right away. See, the Dredge were once enslaved by dwarves. They'll destroy anything dwarven. Once this cave opened up, they probably flocked here like jackdaws to a bone.
Then we better hurry. Hey, do you hear that? Saren, watch out!
Uh-oh. So yeah, it's the Dredge. Finally, we get to interact with them.
You will not steal our artifacts!
All right. Oh my god. Okay, so it's the Dredge. The Dredge are some of the more dangerous in terms of game mechanics enemies. As you can see, they're doing big damage to us, and we have to like be very careful. This is genuinely a bit of a tricky instance, so we have to watch ourselves. But yeah, it's the Dredge. We've seen flashes and flits of them, but not really interacted with them too much.
Watch your step. These Dredge are good at getting underfoot.
Well, here we are. Well, they are once again a Guild Wars 1 race, and they were, as Saren says, enslaved by the dwarves. Does she have any extra details for us? She says, this cave is so dreary. Can you imagine living here? Maybe it was different back when the dwarves lived in Tyria. Oh, well, what do you know about the Dredge? Once they were dwarven slaves. With their masters long gone, the Dredge have come into their own, albeit with a bad attitude. Can you tell me more about the dwarves? I've heard all sorts of stories about them. There were once 2 factions. They had a big magic tome and... oh, they all turned themselves to stone. 2 factions? What do you mean? Yes, there were the Stone Summit dwarves, who were cruel xenophobes, who often clashed with the more open Delgamore dwarves. Well, what else do you know about the dwarves? Magic tome, what was that? The Tome of the Rubicon prophesied that the dwarves would meet the Great Destroyer in battle and be lost to the depths. Great Destroyer? Depths? A champion of the dragon Primordus. To fight him, the dwarves turned themselves to stone and went deep underground, where they battle even still. What about the Dredge? Okay, so she gives us a ton of... this is a pretty big information bomb here. So yes, there were 2 factions of dwarves way back when. The Stone Summit were the bad guys that we'd fight, but the Delgamore dwarves were good guys, generally, that were on our side, and they were allies back in the original game. They're all gone now. They've all turned to stone to fight one of the Elder Dragons. The Elder Dragon of Fire, the first to awaken Primordus, deep beneath our feet even now. Remember, Saren said this was revealed by an earthquake. Perhaps even you could attribute to Elder Dragon movements. Not that the game specifically says that. So yeah, those are the 2 dwarven factions, and there was a big story about this tome here, the Tome of the Rubicon. It's an extremely old tome that has details about the Elder Dragons, and this will not be the last we hear about this. We'll try and remember this, and Saren talking about the Tome of the Rubicon, because this is a mystery that will return in the story in videos to come pretty soon. So yeah, and then you have the Dredge. You know, it's funny, because the Dredge were kind of... they were oppressed in the original game. They were oppressed by the Stone Summit. They were slaves, so quite often when we met them, they were collaborating with us, and they were decent with us, and we were kind of allies. Sometimes they were enemies. In this game, 250 years later...
that's interesting.
Now that they've been free, they've kind of just all become, you know, they're like adolescent now. They're in that stage where they're all extremely... rebellious, and they all fight very hard for their own freedom, and unfortunately that means quite often we are fighting on the other end of the battle to them. So I don't remember how many allied Dredge there are in Guild Wars 2, but it's rare to find them. Which is kind of an interesting, nice shake-up from how often they were our allies way back when, originally in the original game. They're very dangerous, though, so they all have different varieties of attacks. This guy, so as you can see here, they utilize shockwaves and audio and all kinds of things to hurt us, so we have to be very careful. Let's take him out. What is this, Saren?
Ooh, good find. The writing on this is certainly dwarven. Keep searching. Maybe we can find more.
So basically the Dredge were excavating this, and we've just come along, killed them, and now we're looking at what they'd figured out. Great. I feel bad for this, to be honest. Why can't we collaborate with them and just be like, hey guys, yeah, we want to check out this tomb too. You know, how are we so sure that they're that nefarious? Here's another one.
Another artifact. This has a royal mark.
Idiots, we were too
This tomb
late.
is for nobility.
Attack!
Think we can find anything else?
Oh god, Saren, they're attacking us.
Let's do this then.
Oh my god, she sounds way too excited to be in that fight. Let's do this then. Jesus Christ. Alright, are we all good? Okay, good. Saren, can you keep an eye out, genuinely, if they're going to be really mad? He said that they're too late. I wonder what they're too late for, guys. Here you got some machines as well, these Dredge turrets. These are actually kind of dangerous. So I'm going to try to make sure that I kill them. This, by the way, was a totally new thing for Guild Wars 2. The actual idea of fighting terrain and objects and turrets and stuff like that never appeared. I mean, it did in small amounts, but not as much as you see here with, like, nice destructible stuff. I think it's always kind of fun. Oh, my God, they've got Priory. That mushroom looks awesome as well. You've captured
Those
Priory.
Priory explorers. We have to get them out.
Yeah, we do.
My raven's wings. No one was supposed to know about our expedition. Did Gix send you?
Send us? Sure. Gix sent us. That's why we're here. Gix. He sent us.
Much appreciated. When I see you back at the Priory, I'll buy you an ale.
Saren, why do all these people seem rogues? What do you mean he didn't send us here? What is this? Alright, so they're just gonna leave. They're not even gonna help us fight. What will you do? They're not even finished and satisfied in finishing their mission. Well, let's see what we got right here at the bottom of the team here with an exit just over there.
Who are you? What are you doing here? Dwarf sympathizers, I'll bet.
We want to know the importance of this tomb. What can you tell us?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Come, let's show them the meaning of buried and forgotten.
No, come on, man. We can work together.
Not much of a conversationalist, is he?
We're not dwarf sympathizers. Well, actually, to tell you the truth, there is a dwarf in the Priory.
Wrong.
So maybe Saren is a dwarf sympathizer. So, alright, fine. We'll do them.
I need assistance.
So, as you hit this boss to various health thresholds, he'll cry. I'm actually getting really hurt here. He'll go invulnerable for a second, and he'll summon more turrets. So we want to kind of blow these up nice and quick. This is going to be really tricky, guys. There we go. He'll do it again now, I think. No? Maybe not?
No more for me.
That was interesting.
No more for me, he says. All right, there you go.
That talking tree's gone crazy. Get it off me. I'll tell you anything. Just let me go.
This talking tree'll tear your limbs off, buddy. Is this all you found in the tomb, or did your people destroy some of the relics?
Those relics are nothing compared to... We tried to shatter it, but we couldn't. It was too powerful. Nothing could harm it.
Destroy what? Another relic? One like these?
Junk! No. It was a sword. We sent it to the southern ruins, hoping to find some way to destroy it. Death to the dwarves!
A sword? Maybe the writing on these relics will tell us more. I bet Gix can translate it. Let's head back to the Priory and ask him.
Talking tree? That's the best he had. I'm more insulted by his lack of imagination.
Oh, so we didn't kill him. Look, he's just weak. There we go. You're not doing too bad, man. No, he's leaving.
Hold on.
He just fled. He was out of breath and he's just burrowed away now, completely fleeing. Brilliant. Okay. Saren, what is this? She says, what is it, novice? We really need to be getting back to the Priory to tell Gix about that missing sword. I'm sorry, but can you remind me who Gix is? Well, he's the head of the Dermot Priory. Okay, what else can you tell me? Well, he may be cranky, but he's one particularly clever Asura. I like to think of him as a father figure, though he probably likes to think of me as little as possible. Well, he did compliment you before. These artifacts are strange. What can you tell me about them on a first look? Well, they're definitely dwarven. I'd guess they were stone summit, but Gix may know better. Okay, so if they are stone summits, then that's not good. Those were the bad guys. That spells danger, and it certainly put the frighteners on the Dredge, right? The Dredge still have the sword. How much trouble is that going to cause, do you think? Well, that sword likely represents an awful lot of trouble. We should hurry to the Priory and tell Gix. Did I already read that? I might have already read that. All right, okay, so, yeah, there you go. That's the start of the Dermot Priory story. We luck our way into a secret expedition. Oh, man, look how good that looks. Let's get out of this cave here. We luck our way into a secret expedition that Gix probably didn't want us to know about, and find out something kind of scary. Right. So, we got to get back to the Priory now. I didn't actually get any waypoints nearby. So, I'm going to run now back over towards the main entry bridge, because there's a certain route I love to take to the Priory that I just have to show you guys. So, we're going to go on, continue our adventure through the Shiver Peaks, and I'll see you all in a moment. Alright, so here we are, back towards the road. That's the Priory up there on that enormous peak. Oh my god, there's Gruul here. No, I don't want to deal with Gruul. We've had enough of you, Gruul, in Ascalon. Please, no. Alright, so, yeah, that's the Priory. And we're going to get there by following this road. Have I done the right thing here? I feel like I've maybe missed a little part of the adventure here. We're going to walk along here with these cave spiders. and move on up. So one thing that always strikes me as I go towards the priory, we're going to try and dodge that spider if he attacks us. Let's use updraft to give ourselves swiftness and move forward. I always like to imagine what it was like, you know, 100 years ago, however long it was, back when the tidal wave hit Lion's Arch, and you had all these people following Dermond here just to get the high ground, just to be able to get as much material out of the city as possible, and the early days of the priory. Here we've got someone called Hunter Gully.
Over in Bouldermouth Vale, herder Lyot's been having trouble maintaining her Doliak ranch. A group of local ice worms developed a taste for her Doliaks, and Lyot's caught between fending off the worms and tending to her animals. If you have time, stop by and lend her a hand.
You know, I really thought that that was going to be about the priory, and she would talk to us a bit about the kind of people we're here. I mean, look, there's explorers right here, but I guess not. I guess in truth, she's just a Norn. This is kind of Norn. Now that the dwarves aren't here, it's kind of Norn territory now. So, you know, they still got their problems. They still got their things that they're doing. Oh, we leveled up. Nice. We leveled up on the Priory Bridge. A huge, by the way, this is a vast bridge going over a pretty big gap down there. We get a new helmet. Kind of nice. I will probably properly equip all this stuff between episodes and figure out our inventory nicely here. We got some Arcanists, and check it out. Look, as you get close to the Priory, you get that beautiful Priory music starts to play. Over here on the left, you do find a sneaky little hut that's called Ogden's Quarters. So that dwarf we saw in the cutscene, this is where he lives. And we'll be learning more about Ogden and his role in the Priory as time goes forward. But a cheeky little hint about that right there with that point of interest. There's a very rare dynamic event that can spawn here, involving a secretive guild that sort of travels Tyria, and they're called the what are they called? The Morden... What are they called? The Modus Slaris, I think, or something? And they can very rarely trigger. Here's a member of the Guild Initiative who have a mission here. I believe it's a race. Lots more Arcanists. This is, without a doubt, I don't know, the Order of Whispers place is pretty good because you get the big globe and stuff, but this is so grand and amazing. The Vigil Keep's pretty good as well, but this is the third and final Order location, guys, so you're finally seeing the last headquarter now, and there's something about the ambience here that I just cannot get enough of. All the various services available to members of the Order here. So we've got Weaponsmith, we've got Armorsmith, these guys selling special Priory gear, and we'll be showing these skins off. Here's the Priory shield, for example. Elementalists can't actually use shield, but look at how badass this is. Absolutely awesome. And there's actually translatable text on the inside of the glass. So yeah, you got the Priory weapon set, you got the Priory armors, you got researches for various events that have gone on over the years. Over here is a surrogate access, just like we saw with the Order of Whispers. Yes, the Priory also have access. We can press F and it says the door is closely guarded. Speak to the guard to enter.
I'm a hands-on academic.
And she just says for now that the area is under construction and we should check in later.
History never lies.
Lots of scholars.
Historians, however.
Some of them actually have some pretty crucial information, including these two. So first I speak to Arcanist Timbal.
We know so little.
Who says, shh, keep your voice down. May I direct you somewhere? Oh, really? I need to do some research in the library? Oh, what is this? Oh, this was not added with the original release of the game. Let me just say, I forgot that they added this. So look, he actually takes us inside the Priory. This is actually underneath, like inside the building. We've skipped forward a little bit here. There's a ton of different guys. Armor requisition a secunda. Here to requisition armor. I've probably got what you need. Oh look, so she sells the Priory armor here. Oh, this is really cool. You got all the books. We can already explore this. So here's the Priory archives themselves. I'm skipping ahead a little bit though, guys. There will be story here way down the line. But what a cool place. Can we even find Ogden and Gix in here maybe? Here are their barracks, which I'm sure we're entitled to hanging out in. Oh my god, we'll have to come back later, guys. We're not going to go into here just yet. Let's climb back out. So anyway, there's him. I knew he had some dialogue. I forgot that that was exactly what he did. But then there's also this person here, Scholar Trueclaw. So listen carefully as we go into this.
The past should inspire the future.
So Trueclaw says this. Jotun, Masart, Forgotten, Seer, and Dwarf. 5 against 6. It seems so unfair, and yet... We said, what are you talking about? It's accepted that there were 5 sentient races who fought the Elder Dragons the first time and survived. I'm studying them, and I'm looking for hints among their relics to how they did it. Only 5 races? That we know of. This was a very long time ago. I'm afraid none of them are coming forward with helpful information. We have the Dwarven Tome of the Rubicon, but it's been changed over the years. Changed how? Through copying and recopying as the physical material of the tome degraded with time, I would imagine. Though other more political factors may have played a role. So what True Claw is talking about here is the old Elder Dragon rising 10,000 years ago. We have so little information left of because the Elder Dragons wiped everyone out and went to sleep. But we know that there are at least 5 races.
The past should inspire the future.
Jotun, Massart, Forgotten, Seer, and Dwarf. These are the ancient races, and you should be fascinated by them. A big part of Guild Wars 2 and learning, and especially the Priory, about how to fight the Elder Dragons and what actually this mysterious, strange history is, why the Elder Dragons are here, what they seek to do. That the key to that is unlocked through learning about these old races. And as the story goes forward, I know we're several videos in here, guys, but now you're starting to get to the real meat of the story. These races we'll learn more about as time goes by. There's also a very curious sentence here that I'll just let linger in the air. She says 5 races against 6. So 5 against 6. Why did she say 5 against 6? How many Elder Dragons are there? Well, there's Primordus, 1. There was Jormag, 2. There is the Deep Sea Dragon, 3. There is Zaitan, 4. And there's Kralkatorrik, 5. So shouldn't that say 5 against 5? It seems so unfair, and yet... Welcome, guys, to the Priory. We've made it.
Don't worry about Stuart Giggs. I'll handle him. He'll be mad for all of 3.5 seconds.